In the summer of 1945, as World War II was drawing to a close, New York City witnessed an event that would forever mark its history. On the morning of July 28th, the city was enveloped in a dense fog, a common occurrence in Manhattan, but one that would prove to have extraordinary consequences on this particular day. Betty Lou Oliver, a 20-year-old elevator attendant at the Empire State Building, arrived at work that day as usual. It was a job she had performed routinely many times, and nothing was out of the ordinary as she began her workday. This was actually Betty's last scheduled day on the job, as she would be leaving New York City to join her husband Oscar Lee at Fort Smith in Arizona. At that same time, a B-25 service bomber was en route from Massachusetts to LaGuardia Airport in New York City. The bomber, piloted by the experienced Captain William Smith, was on a routine mission transporting servicemen. Due to thick fog, the aircraft was unable to land at LaGuardia Airport as scheduled, so the pilot requested to divert to Newark Metropolitan Airport in New Jersey. Smith asked for clearance to land, but the airport, concerned about the fog, advised against landing, telling him it was too dangerous as there was zero visibility. Smith, a pilot with a notable service record, had flown some of the most dangerous missions during the war. His experience, however, could not prepare him for the challenges he would face that day. In a critical decision, Smith chose to ignore the warning. Instead, he made a turn that brought him over Midtown Manhattan, where the visibility was even worse. This decision set in motion a series of events that would have a catastrophic impact. Becoming disoriented by the fog, he turned right instead of left, and after flying dangerously close to the Chrysler Building on East 42nd Street at 9:40 a.m., the aircraft crashed into the north side of the Empire State Building between the 78th and 80th floors with a thunderous boom and a shockwave that reverberated throughout the building. Causing a gaping hole, it made direct impact in the offices of the War Relief Services and the National Catholic Welfare Council. One engine shot through the south side opposite the impact, flew as far as the next block and dropped 900 feet, landing on the roof of a nearby building, causing a fire that destroyed a penthouse art studio. The other engine and part of the landing gear fell down an elevator shaft in the Empire State Building. At the time, standing at 102 stories tall with 2 observation decks, the Empire State Building was the tallest building in the world. Between 50 and 60 sightseers were on the 86th floor observation deck when the crash occurred. However, none of them were injured. Shrapnel from the plane's engine scattered throughout the building, severing cables, causing unimaginable destruction, and started fires on multiple floors. Betty Lou, who was on the 80th floor at the time of the accident, was thrown from her elevator car and suffered severe burns. Amidst the chaos of a crashed bomber, the remnants of a raging fire, and the destruction on the building, brave rescuers found Betty Lou. They swiftly worked to get her out of the danger zone, navigating through the smoky corridors and debris-strewn hallways. Dazed and wounded, she was carefully placed onto a gurney. As it was the only route down at the time, rescuers placed her on another elevator car to transport her to the ground floor, unaware that the cables supporting that elevator had also been severely damaged by shrapnel and nearly severed in the incident. Tragically, as the elevator could not bear the weight, it suddenly plummeted in a terrifying freefall with Betty Lou inside, dropping 75 stories down to the basement, which was the equivalent of a 1,000-foot drop. The impact when it hit the basement was violent. The elevator crumpled like a tin can, with enough force to shatter bones and take lives. However, as luck would have it, the metal lift cables that had been severed in the crash had fallen to the bottom of the elevator shaft before the elevator. They coiled up, creating a crude but effective cushion, which softened the impact slightly, while the rapid air compression from the elevator falling slowed its fall. When rescuers found Betty Lou for the second time amongst the rubble, she was astoundingly still alive. Incredibly, despite the unbelievable fall and the violent impact, Betty Lou survived. However, she had sustained a broken pelvis, back, neck, and 2 broken legs. The aftermath of the incident was as shocking as the incident itself. Against all odds, Betty Lou Oliver had survived the longest elevator fall ever recorded. It was an event that would etch her name into the history books, earning her the Guinness World Record, which is still held to this day. Her recovery was slow and painful, as it took her 8 months to fully recover. 14 individuals lost their lives in the incident, including Colonel Smith, his co-pilot that day, Staff Sergeant Christopher Dimitrovich, and Navy aviation machinist mate Albert Perna, who had hitched a ride. 11 civilians inside the building also perished. Tragically, Perna's remains were only located 2 days later in an elevator shaft. The other 2 crew members were so severely burned they could not be identified. Additionally, about 24 people also sustained injuries due to the crash. The building caught fire, but thanks to the quick response of the firefighters, the flames were extinguished in just 40 minutes. The Empire State Building fire is still the highest structural fire to be brought under control by firefighters. The damage was estimated at around $1 million, equivalent to about $16 million today, yet remarkably did not compromise the building's structural integrity. Despite the damage and deaths, the building was open for business on many floors the following Monday morning, less than 48 hours later. After the debris had been cleared away, Armand Hammer, better known for his brand Arm & Hammer, purchased the damaged 78th floor, refurbished it, and made it the headquarters of his United Distillers of America. Just 5 months later, while still recovering, Betty Lou returned to the scene with an elevator inspector who was astonished at her courage for agreeing to travel in an elevator after what she had been through. She was later able to join her husband Oscar in Arizona and went on to have 3 children. Betty Lou died in Fort Smith, Arizona on November 24, 1999. She was 74 years of age. Unbelievably, on July 24, 1946, 4 days before the first anniversary of the crash, another aircraft narrowly missed striking the building. It was said to have come so close, in fact, that it scraped the observation tower on the 68th floor, startling the sightseers and the workers who were inside at the time. The unidentified twin-engine plane described as bearing no military insignia, as well as who was piloting the plane that day, remain a mystery. The building has been repaired and restored, but it still carries a scar from that fateful day. A missing stone in the building's facade serves as the only reminder of the terrifying ordeal.